Money Mansell. When I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
Just fucking went right into the goddamn Seahawks.
All right, welcome in, boys and girls, to another episode of the Offensive Line Podcast. I'm joined by two of my colleagues here today, Mr. Casey Patrick. How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. I'm good. My internet's up and working, unlike the fourth of our quadrant or whatever you would call it.
Yeah, Kyle is having some problems with his internet. We don't expect him, but if he comes in, we'll adjust on the fly. And then Lee, your Cowboys are playing tonight, buddy. How you feeling?
Yep, I'm excited, but hella nervous. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, week one against the reigning defensive championships, probably not who you choose to play, but I mean, if you come out and win, that's a big win.
It sure is. Hopefully we look a lot different than last year. If not, then we're gonna see a new head coach here pretty soon.
I think you could almost guaranteed, unless Dak gets hurt again, that you're gonna have a better time than last year. I mean, I don't know. I as long as if the Cowboys defense can play defense, then they'll be pretty good. I don't think there's any questions about their offense.
Absolutely, and one big thing last year was Zeke Elliott not being able to hold on to the football. Pretty sure he led the league in fumbles, and that made we got behind a lot because of that, and we just couldn't. We had to play keep up, and we couldn't. There was 2 games that we just give the game away because he fumbled on like back-to-back possessions.
He's had fumble issues throughout his career, hasn't he?
He did. He's fumbled before, but not like last year. Like I said, he had like 6 fumbles in like 10 games. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely not what you want. But also, I mean, I can't say I disagree with if Dallas was to get rid of McCarthy, but
he's dog shit.
Yeah.
Let's not sit here and sugarcoat nothing.
But who's better?
McCarthy's a fucking moron. Who's better? Anybody walking on the streets of Dallas right now. You could legitimately go get anybody. Hell, they don't have to be walking. You could bring out somebody in a wheelchair. They can coach better than fucking McCarthy.
Yeah, Jerry Jones pretty much hired him because he has a Super Bowl under his belt, and that was what I got out of it.
Yeah, well, I've been laid before, but I can't get a girlfriend, so what the fuck's that matter?
Oh, man. Starting out the podcast pretty hot out of the gates here.
I had my weed this morning.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and go into probably the biggest news of the day. I don't know. It's between 2 different things, I'd say. TJ Watt was signed to $112 million over 4 years. I'm not positive. I just got the notification like right before the podcast here, but I think that makes him the highest paid defensive or pass rusher at least. So, TJ Watt, is he worth it? Do you guys think?
I want to see what he does without Bud Dupree on the other side, because I think that really helped him out a lot. TJ Watt's definitely a fantastic football player, but there's obviously a difference between fantastic and $120 million worth fantastic in my mind. I'm not saying he's not worth it, and if he finishes this year with like 13, 14 sacks, then he is worth it, but he's going to have to hold up his end of the bargain and then do a little bit more because they did lose some of the players, from last year.
I just looked it up. It makes him the highest paid defensive player, period. So that's crazy.
Yeah, in all honesty, that should be Aaron Donald, just based off performance. I mean, there's no really arguing that, but Ben Roethlisberger just said he was like, just pay him what he wants. I mean, if somebody's been in the league that long, think that highly of a player, then maybe he is that good.
Well, of course, Ben would say that because a lot of the people on the team last year are gone. And all the guys that were on the Super Bowl teams, they're gone. It's just Ben by himself. And maybe like DeCastro, or he might be gone. Hell, I
Yeah,
don't
he's
know.
gone now.
Yeah, for real. So it's like Roethlisberger's like, hey, look, let's keep what we got. So, I mean, that makes sense from his perspective to say that. And T.J. Watt, like I said, is a great football player. I don't know if he's worth that amount of money. And, of course, the next few years are going to be weird as far as cap room and how that works because I want to see how that goes up. But that is a lot of money. And Aaron Donald should be the highest paid player in all of football because I think it's either him or Derrick Henry for the best football player on this planet. And I give Aaron Donald the edge because he's already at the line, whereas Derrick Henry has to run to it.
I mean, honestly, Aaron Donald's probably the biggest defensive playmaker I've seen, since Reggie White. And I didn't, mainly just highlights of Reggie White. But
that's how I feel about Lawrence Taylor. Like that's how I feel about like Aaron Donald and what he really means to a defense. Because I saw Brian Urlacher and I saw Luke Kuechly, and I saw Patrick Willis, and I saw how good all those players were. And even Sean Taylor. I saw Sean Taylor and Ed Reed. Ed Reed was great. Ray Lewis, great. But Aaron Donald just being right there at the line of scrimmage, he causes so many problems. He makes everybody else on the Rams defense look so much better, too. So, I mean, Donald's probably the best game wrecker I've seen since watching the tapes of LT play, because I never saw him play live.
And another thing to consider about Aaron Donald is he plays roughly a position where it's relatively easy to double team people. Especially he plays
double team all the time.
Exactly, and he still creates that much havoc. So can you imagine if he happened to be like a defensive end all the time or a pass on the outside, if he was that dominant, if there was that dominant of a pass rusher in the league, like that would be insane.
Mm-hmm.
And to make it that he's an interior lineman, that makes it even more impressive.
Yeah.
But with the T.J. Watt, back to the T.J. Watt thing for just a sec, I mean, I would be, saying he's the best player in the league on defense if the Cowboys would have took him instead of one guy named Taco Charlton. So I'd be saying pay him too if he played for our defense. So,
yeah,
but literally, Taco Charlton got picked, and then T.J. Watt got picked, the next pick. I'm like,
we've talked about this before. It's depressing. We can go back and look at draft results and get depressed,
especially the Chargers. But another thing to consider about T.J. Watt is that a lot of the times, I guess the NFLPA kind of sets what a team is going to play, or pay for a player. Like they say it a lot in quarterbacks. It's like not necessarily like whether or not like you deserve more money because you're worth more money than someone else. It's just that like the timing of your contract and stuff. So while he's getting paid more than Aaron Donald, I don't know if there's anyone that necessarily thinks that he's more valuable than Aaron Donald. That's just the way the business works.
right.
Yeah, that's why Taylor Lewan was the highest paid left tackle in the league for a short period of time, and he's not that good.
Yeah, and that's the reason why Dallas was in such a stranglehold with Prescott, because if you don't sign him, then you're obviously throwing away your next season, and then you're going to have to draft or develop a quarterback. And then if you do sign him to all this money, what if he gets hurt again, or what if he don't perform? So there's that little gray area that sometimes the player has the upper hand, or vice versa. So
speaking of players that aren't performing well, Jamar Chase came out, I think it was today, if not it was yesterday, that he's having trouble seeing the NFL ball because it doesn't have the white stripes on the end of it. Do you guys buy that, or do you think it's just he's got the yips?
He's probably blind. He probably can't see. and I mean, I don't know. It's weird because there are so many reasons for somebody to be good in college and then fail in, professional league of anything. But that seems like such a trivial issue. It just seems like there would be. Sorry, I about had a dumbass walk up to my car. It just seems like if he was having issues, it would be something more serious. But not being able to see the ball, or just having the yips and dropping it. I mean that is probably more plausible, but that almost doesn't make any sense, like at all.
Right. I mean, I could understand if he come out and said, "Yeah, man, I'll be honest, I'm having a little trouble adjusting to the NFL speed, or, I'm having trouble seeing the ball, coming out of my breaks or whatever." But to not be able to see the stripes, that's kind of reaching there.
Yeah. Probably something else going on.
I mean, I'd say we definitely expect him to bounce back, though. I would find it very surprising in the way that the league has gone lately that a top 5 wide receiver prospect couldn't catch the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like the way it seems like every wide receiver that comes out nowadays is pretty good. Like I feel like wide receiver is one of those low ceiling or low floor, high ceiling picks.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, it just what he said doesn't make any sense, and there's just too much physical talent there for him to not be good. But I will say, I still believe I'm right in saying that the Bengals should have taken Sewell out of Oregon, and now I know I'm right because they've got a receiver who can't catch.
And you haven't heard anything about Sewell yet, so even if he is a tackle. Let's see here. I was also going to do the win projections for the NFL, but real quickly, do you guys want to talk about college football week 1?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so let's dive into it. Do you want to start with the Vols? Do you want to end with the Vols?
Lee can go if he wants, but I know I've got a little bit of things I want to say that have nothing to do with the Vols.
Oh, no, I definitely want to talk about more than the Vols.
Okay.
Yeah, let's save the balls for last.
Okay, so I would say the biggest surprise out of this weekend, but it's not really a surprise, is how good Bama looked. Like, I mean, Miami, I get it, they're ranked 14 or whatever, but they had a lot of returning impact players, including Derek King, and they just looked like it looked like it was a pro team versus a college team almost.
Yep, Bama didn't skip a beat. I mean, it was bad.
They scored within the first 2 minutes on a wide open pass. Like, it was just
I mean, he was wide open, but Bryce Young, he looked legit. I mean, even throwing to wide open receivers, he looked like he should have $1 million in endorsements.
Yeah, he definitely did.
I'll be honest. I think I agree with everything y'all are saying. Alabama looks like the best team in the country. I think Georgia looked like the second best team in the country, and I don't really think those two teams are close. And I don't really know who's third. Maybe Ohio State. It wasn't Oklahoma, but it's like Alabama is playing its own game, and everybody else is kind of just fighting for who gets to get their asses kicked
in the national champion.
That's what all this is. And it's like really like the whole regular season and the playoffs and all that is just, hey, let's just get to the game, and hopefully all of Alabama's starters, fall off a cliff
get
somewhere.
COVID.
Yeah, I think Georgia's right now the team that maybe could stay with them. Their defense looks very, very good. Especially their defensive line. That Ogunawale, whatever that dude's name is, he couldn't do nothing.
Did you see the right guard? The right guard for Clemson can't block me. He was awful. That young man, and I feel sorry for him. I'm not even talking shit at this point. He had no business wearing that jersey and being on that field. He got absolutely whooped at the line of scrimmage just about every single play that I paid any attention to him. Now that you do have to kind of give that to Georgia. I believe it was Nolan Davis is
Yeah.
the defensive lineman
Is
who.
that number 4? Is he number 4?
No. I'm talking about 99, the one that looks like a mountain with legs. The really big. He was in Ugalele's face all day, and there wasn't really a whole lot Clemson could do offensively. Georgia's defense was nasty, but Georgia's offense wasn't nearly as good as I expected them to be. I thought they'd be better with JT Daniels. I expect them to be better. But I expected that game as a whole to be more interesting because even though it was only a one-score game, I felt like those two teams weren't even close. I felt like Georgia was probably like 2 touchdowns better. They just never scored. But I will say very quickly, and I need to get this off my chest, the best game I watched this past weekend, one of the best games I've watched in a long time, was the Notre Dame-Florida State game. Big ups to Mike Norvell and Norvell, however the hell you say his name. Whatever he's doing down in Florida State, I think it's really resonated. I believe they found their starting quarterback in Milton. But I was really hoping Notre Dame would lose because, let's be honest, they're a bunch of punk bitches. So Florida State almost winning that game was big. That was really fun to watch. But and one more thing, and I'm done. A lot of teams look like shit.
Yeah, that's like one of my big takeaways too. Is a lot of teams did not look good. Like a lot of top 25 teams. Indiana lost by like 32 points to Iowa, and during our projections when we were looking at the top 25 preseason, we even said, why is Iowa here? It doesn't seem like they should be here. Maybe they're no. I mean, according to that Indiana game, they were lower than what they should have been.
We was expecting, like, we was talking about Indiana, getting to the Ohio State game, maybe undefeated and having a chance to have a big season. Nope.
I mean, they can still turn it around. Like, I mean, but it's not going to be the same.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah. I mean, there was like 6 upsets, and that was just lower seed teams beating. Some of them was, like Iowa was 18 and Indiana was 17.
But even
big upsets.
North Carolina and Virginia Tech there, I mean, that was a big upset. I mean, Virginia Tech, I feel like, is one of those teams that can always upset you. I remember they beat Ohio State a few years ago the first week. But, yeah, that was surprising, too. I thought maybe North Carolina had a chance of giving Clemson a run, and they still might, but I don't know.
Yeah, Montana
beat like that all year.
Yeah, true.
Montana beat Washington. They was like ranked number 10 or some shit.
Yeah.
Washington was 20th in the country. Montana is an FCS team, and then they whooped them. I mean, they beat them pretty good. Another game that was a huge upset, and I absolutely loved watching it. East Tennessee State University beat the dog shit out of Vanderbilt 23-3 or 30-3 or some shit like that. Either way, Vanderbilt scored 3 points against a bunch of high school junior varsity kids, and I loved it. It was wonderful. The Commodores need to understand that they are trash. This is not baseball. It's not women's bowling. You're good at those sports, not football. So welcome. Go back down to your basement where you deserve to be. No, look, Vanderbilt fans, listen, they had a good little run there. At first, I thought they were cute. They won a game here and there. The fans were like, hey, here we go. Yeah, we got Bobby Johnson. We got Jay Cutler, blah, 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 all this other nonsense. And they won a few games, and that was cool. And then they beat Tennessee, and I was upset about that. But then they started talking shit, and I was like, wait a minute. Y'all would have to win the next 1,000,000 games just to get back to 500 with us. So ever since they started talking shit, they can officially kiss my ass. So watching East Tennessee State wipe the floor with Clark Lee and his brand new football team was absolutely wonderful. I loved it.
They have a pretty good quarterback prospect too. So Seals, I think is his name. So it was like, I don't know.
He got bent.
Yeah, like that's pretty crazy. Like how different I thought Vanderbilt might look this season.
Yeah, they suck.
They might get, if all this merging keeps happening, they might be the odd man out and get just kicked out of the SEC altogether.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the AFC South has the Jaguars. You might as well keep one trash team around.
I mean, you got to keep that academic school to keep your conference GPA.
Yeah.
That's why Wake Forest is in the ACC.
And honestly, they probably won't leave the SEC. They won't get kicked out of the SEC just because of their baseball success.
When they make so much money, Vanderbilt, I don't think they want to leave the SEC, even if they are a doormat in football. Regardless of their other sports, they do really well in baseball, women's bowling. I think their rowing team isn't bad. I don't even know if they have a rowing team, but they have another sport where they're not god awful at. But
Vanderbilt
even if
basketball isn't bad.
Yeah, no, it's kind of been down here lately, but
Yeah.
they had a few years where they were actually really good. So, I think Vanderbilt, they've obviously got some sports they play well, but they don't want to miss out on that money. SEC money is stupid. That's why Texas A&M can keep giving Jimbo Fisher a gazillion dollars a year, because they're in Texas and the SEC. That's all they got is money.
Yep.
I can't believe they lost to East Tennessee, though.
I can believe they lost. I can't believe they got their fucking asses kicked. They got smashed. Vanderbilt came in as the bully, and it's not like they just got defended and warded off. They got their asses handed to them. They scored 3 points against East Tennessee State University.
And don't most of these week one matchups where one team is oddly, I don't want to say better, but their program is more prestigious, I guess. Don't most of the time these big schools pay these smaller schools to
$315,000 to East Tennessee State University? I believe that's the number I saw.
To get beat.
Yeah, could you imagine? Which Tennessee did it a few years ago with Georgia State, so I know how the feeling goes. But could you imagine handing out money to get your ass handed to you? That's rough.
Yep.
One other thing. I forgot what it was. The top tier teams like Oklahoma and Ohio State. I know Ohio State won by 14, but I think Minnesota's really good. Their problem is Minnesota's running back is hurt, so he's out for the year now. But Ibrahim, I believe, is his name? Yeah, he's a fantastic running back. He's out for the year now. Minnesota's a good team, but none of those other teams looked really that good. Like I said a minute ago, Bama is in its own league. What's new? But so we're just going to play the rest of this year just to get this shit over with and see who Bama gets to kick around in the national championship game.
Pretty much, because Oklahoma, they about lost to Tulane. They was tied early and then kind of pulled away, and then they about come back and beat them. If it was Clemson versus Oklahoma right now, I think Clemson would walk on them just because how good the defense is. I mean,
Sorry, I turned my car back on because it got hot. I needed air conditioning. I'm fat.
Oh, you're good.
But after week one, I don't see a standout besides Alabama. I mean, Georgia's defense, about it.
Yeah, I don't either. Not right now. And somebody may grow into that role. There may be another team or hopefully a few that show up and start showing out. But as of right now, it don't look like it.
Yeah, very weird week one vibes. I feel like everything is uncertain except for the fact that Bama is fucking awesome. Just like always. Like I text you guys, breaking news, Bama is still Bama. So now let's move on to the NFL. Oh, wait, sorry, we didn't do the Vols. Go ahead.
Joe Milton is Lamar Jackson without the Jackson.
Man, I saw him throw a ball 15 yards ahead of a wide receiver at one point, and that's when I stopped watching.
He's got a cannon. My goodness, man.
What I thought was funny is I decided to tweet after the game. What I said was, listen, there aren't many times where you beat somebody by 32 points and you're upset about it. But quite frankly, the passing game was not good and just got to be better next week. That's all I said. And I didn't receive any backlash, but there was a few people on Twitter, especially one former Vol player that said that couch coaches need to shut the F up which, I mean, I say fuck all the time, so it's not a big deal. But he said, Couch coaches need to shut the fuck up. They don't know what to talk about, blah, 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 all this other stuff. And he said one thing that he brought up was everybody's talking about how Joe Milton didn't read through his progressions, but they never played football. They don't know what they're talking about. And then immediately after that, Tim Tebow said on TV that Joe Milton had a hard time reading through his progressions. I wanted to tweet that at said player. I didn't do that because I don't want to cause a rift in Vol Nation. I know, plus he's a former player. He can kick my ass. So I don't want to fuck with him too hard. But
maybe we can get him on the show sometime too. We don't want to.
Oh, yeah. I'm down. As long as he's not in the same car with me while I do the show, I don't give a fuck. But no, legitimately, I mean, there were a lot of things that did not look good. The offense, the passing game, the running game looked great. The offensive line wasn't awful. It was really good. I think they played how they should against Bowling Green, which is not a good team. But the passing game was not good. The defense, though, even though there were some issues, and hopefully they shore that up, I thought the defense played a lot better than I've seen lately, especially up front. Rodney Garner is probably the best defensive line coach in the SEC, and I felt like our defensive line, especially Elijah Simmons, right up front, they played really well. And if you don't know which one Elijah Simmons is, he's the really, really big one.
Yeah. Austin Jackson really impressed me, the cornerback. He was all over the field.
Which one?
Joe Milton, Austin Jackson. I think he's 26.
Oh, Theo Jackson. Theo.
My bad.
No, you're good. I was just trying to figure out who that was for a minute. Yeah, Theo played well. A few of the corners actually made some plays. Jeremy Pruitt was supposed to be a defensive backs coach, and those guys never figured out shit. So, having somebody else come in and actually appear as though they're coaching up players is a nice change of scenery. So I was really happy with a few things, but the passing game, which is what I was most excited to watch, was severely underwhelming. That's why it probably affected me most, and that's why I tweeted and said what I said. But hopefully this week, they got to be better to beat Pitt. Pitt's a much better team.
Absolutely. With Joe Milton, though, I mean, it was obvious he was struggling just a little bit. There was one, a curl route. Receiver went straight, turned around, and the ball should have been there 10 seconds before it came. I don't know who's worse, the cornerback that was guarding or Joe Milton's timing, because I could have picked that off. I'd have been gone. But it was obvious. Justin said before he overthrew the receiver 15 yards.
Yeah.
Two deep touchdowns, easy if he'd have just put the ball where it needed to be.
And that's one thing that scares me. A lot of people brought up, well, maybe, Milton can get better and all this other blah, blah, blah shit. There were things that I saw where Milton can look at the film and be like, oh, hey, I need to make a better decision here or do this or whatever. But there were also things where I saw him do things that I don't know if they're fixable. Maybe he's just inaccurate. He was under 50% completion percentage in high school. He was around 50 at Michigan. Maybe he's just an inaccurate quarterback, and that scares the absolute dog shit out of me. Because if I have to watch us overthrow players or just miss wide open players all year long, that's going to get hard to watch.
Right. Well, he was 10 of 17 with 100 yards at halftime with 2 rushing. He finished the game, 11 of – he completed 1 pass in the second half. And it was a 40-yard touchdown, but Cedric Tillman did all the work. He
was like a high school player jumping over an elementary school kid. That
was pretty fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's Cedric Tillman's touchdown. Joe Milton gets credit for it, but that's so. Cedric Tillman's the reason why that was a touchdown.
And that was the only ball he completed the whole second half.
The entire second half. He was like 1 of 13 or 1 of 8 or some shit. I don't know.
No, I didn't watch the game as intently because I was working, but I mean, it seemed like the running game did pretty well. You had 2 guys over 100 yards, so I mean, you gotta feel semi-confident about that.
Absolutely. The problem is one of those guys are going to probably be out against Pitt, Tyon Evans, who I thought ran the ball really well. I believe he's going to be out against Pitt, or maybe he's doubtful or something like that. But him and Jabari Small both had over 100 yards rushing. I believe Small averaged 5.8 yards a carry, and Evans averaged 7.3. So good averages, good yardage. Again, I hate to sound like this, but Tennessee should do that on the ground against Bowling Green. But to see them actually go out and do it was a nice change because Georgia State. So it was nice to see that. I did like the execution on the offensive line's part and the running game. I thought even when the running backs got out into space, they were able to make plays themselves, even when it's one-on-one, them and a linebacker or whatever. So that I loved all that. It's just Milton's inaccuracy scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, I liked our up tempo. We had the up tempo. That was a nice change to see. Like just getting in a rhythm. Just
So
running
fast.
the throat. And I mean that was the game plan coming in. I think they ran like 4 different plays the whole game. But maybe he was just trying to get the offense as much as he could until they, got a little better.
On the first drive, they scored. They scored a touchdown on the first drive. They had the ball. They ran a play every 9.8 seconds.
Wow,
that's fucking insane.
And they right down the field, ran it down their throat.
Yeah, because they had. I think Pittsburgh had the ball first, or not Pittsburgh, but Bowling Green had the ball first, and Tennessee scored, and it was like 3 minutes off the clock at that point. It was like shit.
Yeah, they scored 2 touchdowns in like 5 minutes. I said this could be an absolute blowout if this. And then Bowling Green controlled the whole second quarter.
Does that scare you a little bit going up maybe against SEC defenses that are could easily stop that?
Nah, because the SEC defense has stopped our slow ass offense last year. We might as well try something different.
That's fair.
and I don't mean that like in a smart ass way. I mean that in like a look. We tried it the old school, and it just ain't shit. So if you and the reason why the offense works, it is very simple. There's not a lot of plays. He's not reinventing the wheel. He's just driving it faster than everybody else. That's what Heupel's doing. And when he gets his offense out there, what happens is they get lined up in a situation that they like, and if they have numbers, like there's more defensive backs that are way back, they just run the ball. If there's more guys up in the line of scrimmage, they throw over top of them. It's a simple numbers game. It's not like I say. I mean, he's not trying to figure out how to get somebody in certain positions, and it's not like real. It's not science. I mean, he's just going so fast that you can't make any substitutions. So when you can't make a substitution, the defense is stuck with the guys on the field. And if you have the right numbers, you have the right formation, there's nothing you can do.
Just like in Madden, when they do that shit to you.
Yeah.
Nothing pisses me off more than when I play like a Madden, like head on head, and the guy just fucking runs no huddle the whole time. Like, oh my god.
Yep. If you look at quarterbacks in the NFL like Aaron Rodgers, that's what helps make Aaron Rodgers. In those, up-tempo situations, and you're trying to sub or whatever, he's going to hike the ball and get you offsides, or it's just gets the defense all out of sorts when you run that up-tempo. It's crazy.
Anything else about the Vols, guys?
Better be better this week. That's it. All there is to it.
Yeah, we're gonna find out real quick.
Brick by brick, right, Casey?
Fuck.
All right, so now we're gonna go over the NFL win projections on the season. So, and basically whether or not we agree with it, whether or not we think they're gonna be under, which would be under or over.
There we go. Sorry.
No, you're good. This is, damn it, I can't sort it any other way. So we're gonna have to go down, basically starting with the best and then working our way down. So starting off the Chiefs. This is according to FanDuel, I believe, also the odds. Yeah, FanDuel. Okay, so they have the Chiefs at over under 12. I think over.
I was thinking they'd get 12 wins, but I would say over. Even if it's just one, it's still over.
Yeah, probably over.
Yeah, I mean the Chiefs are the Chiefs right now. It's they haven't won the Super Bowl, or they didn't win the Super Bowl last year, but I mean it's still their league. I feel like.
Yeah, no, they made it pretty clear they're the best team in the AFC. So
Even
if
without
Lamar
a line,
Jackson,
almost.
go ahead, my bad.
Oh, you're good. But even with that offensive line, they still almost, they could have beat the Bucs, but it is what it is.
Well, and if Lamar Jackson ever figures out how to win in the postseason, then the Ravens might actually give them a fight. But the Ravens are still having postseason issues. So until somebody else really shows up and challenges the Chiefs, hopefully it's the Titans this year. But until somebody does that, it's just kind of what it is. It's the Chiefs. They got Andy Reid, they got Pat Mahomes, they got Hill and Kelsey, and really that's just enough to put them where the fuck they want to go.
Yeah, it all comes down to weapons. Next up is the Buccaneers at 11.5. I'm gonna go under. I don't know. I mean, they were a middling team last year. Like, yeah, they could improve, but I think they start slow again, maybe. So I'm gonna take under on this one. Casey, I saw you say over.
Well, and it's because of how hot they ended last year. They were 7-5 at one point, and then in Week 14, they beat the absolute dog shit out of the Saints or somebody. I don't remember who, but they beat the dog shit out of somebody in Week 14, and from that point on, they were the best team in football. And I think they're probably going to continue with that momentum because everybody knows that they still have all 22 back. So. Which is the first time in the NFL history we've said it. Everybody else has said it. We've talked about it over and over. But it's the same team again. And I feel like they're probably going to have momentum. I think they start out tonight with a win. No offense, Lee. It's the fucking Buccaneers. I think they're going to beat the Cowboys. I think they're going to beat most of the teams they play. I think they go like 15-12 or 15-2 or something.
I mean, I'll say over. I mean, I don't think they're going to be like 15 and 2, but they could get 12, 13 wins.
My biggest thing is that I definitely think that they're good enough to go back to the Super Bowl and possibly win the Super Bowl again. But I just think that maybe they're just one of those teams that just kind of like meddles around in the regular season and gets it together in the postseason. So we'll definitely find out, though. I mean, if they come out hot, then I was definitely wrong.
Yeah, I was seeing some stuff that like Dan Orlovsky's saying that they could easily go 17-0 if they got their shit together.
I don't want to say easily. Everybody has a bad week at some point. You got 31 other, professional football teams, so it's not like these guys suck. 17-0 is so difficult because 16-0 is already difficult. You're adding another number into the equation. But I could see 15-2, probably with a loss to the Saints and maybe the Rams. I think they play the Rams like week 4. So, I think that game's at LA too, which I've got a lot of love for the Rams this year. I think they're going to be good. That's beside the point. But definitely a good team, and I'll definitely take the over.
Next up, we're looking at the Packers at 11.
I'll take the over simply because their division sucks ass. And that's 6 games right there.
Yep, that's what I was just about to say. I'm over with the Pack over. They're one of the better teams in the NFC, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm also over on the Packers just because this is Aaron Rodgers' revenge tour number 2. And I would never bet against Aaron Rodgers.
Well, I mean, they get to play the Lions twice a year. That's 2 wins. You play the Bears and the Vikings. They should beat both of those teams pretty handily. The Vikings aren't bad, but they're still not the Packers. And then after you get 6 wins, you need another 6 out of the rest of your, 11-game schedule? And they've been a 12, 13-win team the last few years anyway. So I'll take the Packers over there. I don't think they're not Buccaneers or Rams strong, in my opinion, in the NFC, but they're definitely one of the better teams, and they play in the easiest division. Well, I don't know, because the Eagles suck. They play in one of the worst divisions in football.
I would
overall,
say,
my opinion.
I would say they play in the easiest division to win if you're a good team.
Yes. You said that perfectly. I couldn't figure out how to put the words to it, but that's correct.
The Ravens are also at 11. So I think I'm going under here. I think I'm going under.
Can I sit even? Can I say 11?
That's where I'm at. I mean,
Hey, I'm fine with it. I mean, I guess we're not necessarily saying they have to go over or under. So yeah, I still think they're going under, even if even's an option.
Yeah, I feel like the Bengals should be an improved team. The Browns, I think, are going to beat them. The Steelers, even though I think they're completely overrated and they're not nearly as good as they were last year, I still think they're not a bad organization. So I don't know. I feel like that's rough.
yeah, I wish I could see some of the schedules because we could,
Dissect the
No.
hell out of it, yeah.
exactly. Like, I mean, if you think about it, Cleveland is going to give Baltimore a run if they don't beat them. So I guess it depends on if Baltimore beats Cleveland twice, then they'll probably be over.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if Baltimore beats Cleveland twice, yeah. I think they'll split. I think Pittsburgh will split, and I think that the Bengals could also split. I mean, they might sneak up on the Ravens one week, but
Maybe.
Next we got the Rams at 10.5.
Over.
I'm also going over. I mean, I think that they're definitely underrated here. I think Matt Stafford's a great quarterback, going to lead them, and I think that defense is pretty good. I mean, they got the best defensive player, so.
I feel like. Go ahead, Lee.
They got two of the best defensive players, but if there was a 10-11 win team with Jared Goff, for goodness sake, you think they could win with Stafford?
That was my point. I feel like I would take the over even if Jared Goff was still the quarterback. They made a major upgrade with Matthew Stafford. I think the Rams are going to be closer to a 13-14 win team this year.
How much do you think Cam Akers hurts them?
They went out and got Sony Michel. He plays the same role.
Yeah. But Akers was on the up, man. That was a big loss for them.
Absolutely.
I didn't even realize Sony Michel got cut from the Patriots.
He didn't get cut. They traded him.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. My bad. Bills at 10.5.
They're gonna win. Well, they should win the division.
Yeah, but that's a hard division. So I'm actually gonna say 10. So I'm gonna go under.
I'm gonna go over. They got a pretty good football team.
I think they could split with the Dolphins, and I think they might split with the Patriots. They should beat the Bills though, or the Jets.
They went 13-3 last year. Then you add a game this year. I just feel like I don't feel like there's any way they can be a whole lot worse. I'll take the over.
I could see that though. Yeah. Seahawks at 10 under. I think that's really high for the Seahawks.
Absolutely. With the extra game, I could see them right there in that little 9-10 range.
And man, Pete Carroll shows up every year, and he's a good coach. And I do this every year. I'm like, the Seahawks probably going to suck. They got Russell Wilson. They got Pete Carroll. They've got other guys. I love DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, blah blah blah. But I don't know, man. It's they still got those dudes, but I don't know how they get to 10.
Especially in that division, it's a really, really good division. Not adding the fact that the Seahawks they've been like a 9-7, 10-6 maybe team for like the past 5 years, and to me, they haven't really gotten better.
No, they haven't.
If their offensive line plays like they did last year with the defenses that's in that division, Russell Wilson's gonna be running for his life again.
And the Niners are healthy. The 49ers are healthy. I think the Rams are much improved with a different quarterback. What's the fourth team in that division? Because Cardinals don't suck. Yeah. They added J.J. Watt. Chandler Jones is one of the best pass rushers in the league. That is the best division in football.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say...
got a player. Sorry, go ahead, Justin.
I was just going to say, I would say it's right there with, like, most competitive divisions. I'd say it's probably that division, the NFC North, or AFC North, with Pittsburgh and Baltimore. And then that's probably it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe AFC East, Patriots, Dolphins, Bills, maybe.
Yeah. Nobody touches that NFC West. That's the best division in football. And I don't know if it's close because all four of those teams could go to the playoffs, and they might.
I would say 2 of those teams could win a Super Bowl. I mean, the Rams could definitely win a Super Bowl. I think the Seahawks, if they get hot at the right time, they could win a Super Bowl.
I mean, you think about it, the Rams were in the Super Bowl a few years ago. The Niners were in it 2 years ago. The Seahawks won it just a few years ago. And, I mean, the Cardinals, man, that's an up-and-coming crew. I don't have a lot of faith in Kingsbury. Not that he's bad. I need to see more out of him. But, man, that's a good football team. And that's a really hard-ass division.
Yeah. Seahawks gave Tom Brady a ring, and that was, if they go back-to-back there, they probably do everything they can to try to keep their players together. And that was the downfall for the Seahawks.
Yep. Just give Marshawn the ball.
Sticking in the same division, we have the 49ers also at 10. So the Seahawks and the 49ers both at 10. You think 49ers under?
Yes, because Jimmy G's a starter. If Trey Lance was the starter, it'd either be 6-11 or it'd be 12-5. Because I have no idea what Lance can do, but we know Garoppolo is below average. And he's going to cause this offense to be below average, and I just don't think that you can do that in that division and win 10 games.
Yeah. I say under 2. I think they're going to have a lot of close losses because their defense is going to be really good. But I don't see Jimmy Garoppolo winning those games for him.
I'm going to go over.
That's why they went out and got a quarterback.
I'm going to go over. I think Garoppolo is kind of middling, and they kind of do what the Dolphins did last year, where they, even though Fitzpatrick necessarily didn't lose the job, they're just going to put Trey Lance in there, and Lance is going to take off, hopefully. I think Lance is like this year's Herbert. Like, it's like he has all the physical tools to be a great NFL quarterback. It's just whether or not he's going to be, you know? Like maybe mentally, whether he has the worth ethic, maybe whether he is mentally good enough, but physically he's there.
Yeah.
We also have the Colts at 10. So this is the first AFC South team.
I don't know.
I'm going under. I like their defense.
I want them to be under, but I feel like they're a really good team. I feel like they'll probably be right at 10-7. I think that's probably a good number for where they're going to be.
Yeah.
Just a well-coached team, a well-ran organization. I hate to say all of that shit about them, but it's true. They show up every year and they play good football. So, damn, I hate it, but 10's probably right. And if I had to choose over or under, I'd probably go over.
I mean,
you got 4 wins with Houston and Jacksonville should. So
you think so? And Tennessee and Indianapolis probably split. I mean, that every fucking year.
Yeah, I'm probably going. I think I'm gonna go over here as well, because I think if Carson wins and plays well, then you could definitely see them go under. And I think if he plays average, I think that you could see them at 10-6 or 10-7. So
yeah,
that's just gonna look weird, ain't it? At the end of the year,
yeah, it feels weird. The Browns are also at 10, so
I think over.
You think they're over? I also think they're over. I think they played a lot better at the end of last year, and I could definitely see. I mean, they almost beat the Chiefs, so in the playoffs. So I think they could. I think they could definitely, especially with a new head coach. It was a first-year head coach last year. They had 2 years in that system. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking Browns over.
Yeah, probably.
If Odell Beckham Jr. comes back to life a little bit, that's only going to help him because he's been non-existent his time in Cleveland. So,
Joe Lopez says Roddy Anderson and Cooper Cup. I think he means Robbie Anderson. I'm assuming this is a fantasy thing.
It depends. Is it PPR or is it standard scoring? If it's standard scoring, I'd probably go Anderson because I feel like he's more yards. Cooper might get more touchdowns, but he's definitely going to get more touches. Cooper's going to be probably closer to like 80 catches, whereas Robbie's going to be around 65. But I think Anderson's going to have more yards.
And also, I would say if it's if just for this week, like you're trying to pick who to start, I would say probably, let's see, Anderson versus the Jets or Cup versus, who are they playing?
I think it's the Bears.
Yeah, you're right. It's the Bears. I'm going Anderson, I think.
The only thing that scares me about Anderson is the Jets are so bad that if Carolina gets up, they're just going to run the ball.
That's true. I didn't think of that.
I don't know. That's a weird situation. Good luck this week. I like Robbie Anderson overall more. I don't know, man. I don't know. Cooper's nuts in PPR.
But also, you got to think Anderson's going to have to compete with McCaffrey for receptions. So that kind of...
Oh, and DJ Moore. I mean, there's absolutely weapons. But it's not like, Cooper Kupp. I mean, they got Robert Woods. They went out and got Sony Michel. They got the other running back, Darrell Henderson. I mean, there's... that's the weird thing about fantasy this year. There's not enough touches to go around for all the athletes that are on certain teams.
Right. And like Casey said, Carolina will probably get up and start just running the ball to where I think Sean McVay is really going to let loose with Matthew Stafford and just throw a lot. I think he's going to.
That's a good point, too.
Throw a lot.
And they might have to because, the Bears' defense, I think, is going to keep the Bears in the game. So I feel like the Rams probably have a bigger propensity to throw the ball more. Probably Cooper Kupp this week. Overall, I'd take Anderson, though, in my opinion, I guess. I don't know. There's really no fucking... I'll tell you one thing. You pick it, the other guy will blow the fuck up. You know that. Whoever's watching on the other end of this screen, I'm going to tell you what's right. And I know I'm right. I'm never wrong. And I'm going to be wrong. That's how this shit fucking works.
Going back to the win predictions, next we have the Titans at 9.5.
Over.
I think I'm over, too.
I would get 9.5.
National media, they hate us. They don't like Middle Tennessee folk. That's just how it is.
I don't think they like our offense.
We won 11 games last year with a shitty defense, and they added a whole game to the schedule. Our defense only got better. We added Julio fucking Jones, and we've somehow lost a game and a half. So it's national media. I don't know why Vegas would listen to national media, but I believe it all stems from that. Nobody gives Tennessee the love that I think they deserve, which is fine. I don't really care because I'll talk about them whether or not ESPN wants to. They can kiss my ass regardless, but I'll take the over, and I'll take the over by a few games.
It's that small market, team that's they don't get the coverage that they probably should. We see that a lot with even when the Predators won the President's Cup and was the best team in hockey in the regular season. We didn't see the hype because it was the Predators.
And fans from Nashville were packing that stadium all year long. The ratings on TV were out of control. They were nuts. It was the best ratings NHL had ever had up to that point. And then now, what it comes down to is the fact that basically ABC owns everything. ABC's owned by, I don't want to get political, but they hate rednecks. And that's what Middle Tennessee is. They just want to piss us off. That's what it comes down to. Now, if Tennessee was more vaccinated, we'd probably have 11.5. I mean, that's probably what it comes down to. I'm serious.
That would be hilarious. If you saw like vaccinations go up in Tennessee and then all of a sudden their line starts going up. Oh man, this world is not real sometimes.
No, it's not. But you know that's how it is. National media hates Tennessee.
We live in a fucking simulation, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I hope so. I mean, I just wish the numbers were different so I wasn't so fat. But that's probably simulation.
Oh man.
Man, the Titans they show the Titans every Sunday on local TV. Why can't they do that with the Vols? I mean, that seems crazy to me that they'll show a Florida game over a Vols game in Tennessee.
Yeah, but I think that's because like CBS owns like the rights to one game a week. That's their game of the week, and I think they have to pay for it way before the season starts. And instead of like back in the day, it used to be Jefferson Pilot Sports, and I think they had different people for every game, and you just got a regional broadcast.
Yeah.
And I may be wrong about that. I don't know for sure. My shirt is so bright. I got to change the angle. But I that makes a little bit more sense to me. But they don't. Even if Tennessee does good, they don't talk about them. So Tennessee professional. Whatever. It don't matter if it's baseball. It don't matter if it's hockey. It don't matter. People don't like us, and that's fine. I'm okay with it. People have never liked me, and I've gotten over it a long time ago. So if they just continue to be this way, I can live with it.
Yeah.
I don't know if Joe Lopez saw our discussion over it. He didn't comment back. So, but if he did, thanks for commenting. The Saints are also at 9.5. That is wild to me that they have the Saints and the Titans at the same over/under.
Yeah, and I think the Saints right now they're 9-8 team with Jameis Winston at quarterback.
Have they said who the starting quarterback is?
Yeah, and they said that Taysom Hill was going to stay in the same role that he was in last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I'm under. I think I'm at 9.
You know they have a third quarterback on the roster? I don't know who it is, but they've decided that Jameis Winston's the starter. They've got somebody else to be a backup, and Tamus. The fuck is that?
Oh, Tamus Hilston.
That may be a good actual fucking football player. No, Taysom Hill is still going to be like a backup tight end that is going to do all the same shit he was doing. You know what? I'm able to keep a straight face right now. I'll keep talking. Y'all get done laughing. We'll get back to the show here in a minute.
That's gonna be my new Madden character, Tamus Hilston.
Is he mixed?
Yeah, probably.
You gotta be fast as fuck.
Yeah, because he's got to throw the ball super far too.
Yeah,
and
he dubs.
Yeah, he dubs. Accuracy maybe like a 50 rating though. Awareness 32 awareness maybe.
Lack thereof.
I played some Madden last night. I was in a mood for football.
I bought the new one. It sucks dick.
Did you buy it for your PS5?
I never said it was that good of a game. I just said I played it.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping for the next gen version to be a lot better. The computer version is last year's version basically.
Hey, give me a minute. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem. Lee, this kind of works out for the best anyways because it's your team. The Cowboys, they're also at 9.5.
I'm going over.
Over. I like it. I mean, they definitely...
I mean, we should win the division. We should have 11 wins.
That's what I was about to say. I was going to say, on paper, they are the best team in that division, but I feel like it's been that way for so long.
Yep. At the start of the season, we're usually the best team on paper, but as far as offense, but injuries have derailed us for the Tony Romo era and now the Dak Prescott era.
I assume Casey would go over as well. We'll go the Steelers now at 9. I'm gonna go under.
That's a tough one because man, they're a well coached football team.
Veteran quarterback.
Veteran They're not a bad. I mean, they got a great defense. But
Who are we
they
talking
didn't
about?
Steelers.
Bud Dupree, Steelers.
And what number are we at?
9.
8.5?
They're at 9.
I'll take the under. I think they're under 500 for the first time in Tomlin's career.
That's what I was thinking too. About 8. I would say 8.
Okay, here's the real over under. Will T.J. Watt have more sacks than Pittsburgh has wins?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
I think T.J. Watt might double the amount of that Pittsburgh. I'm not even kidding.
I could see it.
I think Pittsburgh might go 7-10, and I completely believe T.J. Watt can get 14 sacks. I believe that.
Are you you go to the not? I don't know if I want to say it out loud. You go to Bowl Arena, right?
Yeah. That's where I'm at right now.
I was looking at the building behind you there, and I was like, that doesn't look like Thunder Alley.
No, I'm at the other bowling alley. I told my brother I'd come up here and see him, and I'm gonna watch the football game up here tonight. So,
try to speed it up a little bit here. The Patriots at 9. I'm going over here. I think they might surprise people. It depends on Mac really more than anything, I guess.
absolutely, 100%. But I think the Dolphins are improved. I think the Jets aren't as bad as they were last year, but they still suck. But the Bills are so good, it's going to be hard to win in that division, and it does come down to Mac. They get a lot of those defensive players back, but it comes down to Mac.
I think it might be a start for him because Gilmore's on the PUP list, and it may be a slow start. Just be prepared.
Yep.
They also have the Dolphins at 9. I'm going over.
I'm going under. I'm not. Tua's got to show me something before I go over.
Yeah, that's me. I feel like they could go over. But I feel like they could go way under too, because I have as much faith in Tua as I have in Mexican tap water. He's all over the fucking place. He's never he's been inaccurate, and then sometimes he looks great. Sometimes he comes out here and he's got 2 quarters where he looks like the top 5 NFL pick he was, and then he has 2 more quarters where he looks like a guy that should be on a practice squad.
Sometimes he's nice, cold, and refreshing. Sometimes he's brown and gives you dysentery. You just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
All right, so now we have, what do we just do? Dolphins. Chargers at 9. I'm going.
I think the Chargers are going to be the most improved team in the NFL this year.
I think that 9 is right for us. I don't know that we could definitely go over. I don't think we'll go under, but I don't feel confident that we'll go over.
I think the Chargers make the playoffs in the NFC this year.
If they did, I'd be very happy.
I'm thinking 10-7 or 11-6 is very plausible. I think they get to the playoffs too.
I mean, you're speaking my language, but
I'm not saying this to blow smoke up your ass. I don't say anything to make anybody feel better about themselves. I only speak the truth.
I mean,
I do like the Chargers though. I think the Chargers are a very good football team.
I guess we're gonna find out wild card weekend.
Uh-huh.
Chargers versus Titans.
There was a meme and it's similar. I may not have it all the way right, but the Bucs last year they won the Super Bowl. But the Super Bowl was in Tampa Bay. There was 3 different things. The Bucs
and it was like the Chargers, yeah.
And then the Chargers drafted lineman this year at 13, and it's obviously.
The only thing is Tom Brady's old enough to be Herbert's dad.
Easily. Herbert's kind of come alive too. Like there was all that talk about coming out of college, that he's quiet, doesn't want to be a leader or whatever, but their social media, the Chargers social media is like full of him talking and like he's not antisocial at all. Like I mean, he was on the NFL's like hype video for the season. He was like in the first 2 seconds of it. Like obviously
I liked watching the video where he was trying to ignore the social media team. He was like walking out on the field with somebody else's jersey number on. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, it was Chase Daniels. He switched jerseys with Chase Daniel.
That's funny. Hey, real quick, I seen something with Austin Eckler. If you got him in your fantasy league and you win that week, you could take a screenshot and post it to his Twitter account, and you're entered into a drawing for like a signed jersey.
Oh, that's cool.
I've got him on my team, and if I win the jersey, I'll give it to you, Justin.
Thanks.
I don't want it.
Yeah, look it up on Twitter. It's Casey, you got Twitter. It'll be under Austin Eckler's account.
I got 2 accounts on Twitter, so I'll do it twice.
In our fantasy league, Kimbrough has him, who I'm playing against week 1. So I'll definitely know if he wins.
Yeah.
Now we got the Vikings at 8.5. I'm thinking under.
God, that's a good number for them.
Well, it is.
Because the Lions are so bad, and I don't think the Bears are all that good. And I feel like that's damn near 4 wins for the Vikings right there, at least 3. So it's, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I feel like 8.5 probably spot on for them.
I'll go over just because of Dalvin Cook. If he stays healthy, they're going to be in some ball games.
They definitely have the offensive weapons. It's just like that offense just, I don't know. It's just, it's not very, it's kind of boring. It's not sexy. That's for sure.
It's Kirk Cousins. That's all on him.
What are you trying to say?
You put Aaron Rodgers with all them weapons. Oh my goodness. It's OV.
Are you trying to say that Kirk Cousins isn't sexy?
That's exactly what I'm willing to fucking say. And I don't care if he likes that or not.
You like that?
He's definitely not 84 million guaranteed sexy. That's for damn sure.
That's true.
Not when you got that money.
Washington football team, 8. Really? You think so?
I think Washington will win the division. Sorry, Lee. I've thought about it. That defense is too nasty. It's the best defensive line in football. I think Fitzpatrick really, he is a win or lose, really just bipolar type quarterback, but a lot of weapons on that offense. The offensive line's kind of iffy. But man, that defense is top tier. And that division, until the Cowboys can finally show me that they can go out there and win 12 games in a season, I don't have any faith in those guys. And Washington last year, they went to the playoffs, and they played better against the Buccaneers in the playoffs than any other team did. So I'll take Washington to win maybe 11 games this year. I think they're a really good squad.
Wow.
I'll go over.
I also use recreational drugs, though, so there's no fucking telling what I'll
I'm done.
So Lee, are you going over as well?
Yeah, but not by probably just a game or 2.
I'm gonna go over, I think, too. But we did the Cowboys at 9.5 while you were gone. Did you?
Who, me?
I said,
Yeah.
Yeah, he was gone. You was.
I have no idea, because I feel like they could just as easily go 13-4 as they could go 4-13. I mean, to me, like 4-13 is really low. I don't think the Cowboys are that bad. But assuming everybody stays healthy, I'll take the over. Oh, fuck, I don't know, man. I'll put them at 10-7. But I think Washington's better right now in my mind. We'll find out tonight.
Raiders at 8. The Raiders are one of those teams. They're going to lose a lot of games, but they're going to sneak up and win some games that you don't expect them to. Like the Chargers will probably split with the Raiders this year. The Broncos will probably split with the Raiders, if not beat them both times. I mean, that's 3 right there.
I'll give the under. I think that you could be right with splitting with the Broncos because their defense is really good. But I think the Chargers are just a way better team. Broncos and whoever the hell we're talking about.
Chiefs.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to. Well, I mean, they almost beat the Chiefs last year, but I don't think they're gonna beat them.
I'm willing to say that the Raiders will have a top 5 draft pick in next year's draft.
They'll probably take like a defensive tackle that was like the 4th round projected.
They'll take Sam Howell.
Which is like basically the same quarterback that they have right now. No offense, Derek Carr. I like Derek Carr, but
Derek Carr's better than David Carr, I think. I'll give him that.
I think so. I think Derek Carr is underrated. I think if he goes to a really good team, he can win there. But he's not. I don't think he's one of those guys. I don't think he's gonna lose you games. I just don't think he's gonna necessarily win you them either. He's like Kirk Cousins.
I think we're arguing about the color of shit. It can be brown, it can be green, but at the end of the day, it's still shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
In my opinion.
The worst thing that could have happened to Derek Carr was not breaking his ankle. It was getting John Gruden as a head coach.
100%. 100%. And Mike Mayock as a GM who has come in and even doubled down on some of those dumbass decisions where they go out and get guys that don't really help. Yeah, all about character. Great. I'm glad you've got a daycare that you can run at your football facility. You're going to get your ass handed to you on the football field.
I mean, come on. You pay Khalil Mack, he stays on the Raiders. You pay Amari Cooper, he stays on the Raiders. You're obviously a better football team than you are right now. I mean, come on.
John Gruden traded Khalil Mack and then said, I wish we had a pass rusher around here. Yeah, well, you got rid of the best one in football, dumbass.
Yeah, he just doesn't. They don't like paying people, so it's surprising to me that they're even as good as they are.
Sounds like America.
The Cardinals.
Go ahead. I'm tired of talking about John Gruden.
The Cardinals also had a. I think I'm over.
That division, I don't know. I'm under.
I'll take the under only because I need to see more out of Kingsbury and Kyler Murray. I need to see more out of those guys. I'm going to take under because of how hard that division is as well. But other than that, God, I can't hold on to this goddamn phone. But other than that, I mean, I think they're a good team with a lot of talent. They're going to lose week 1. But other than that, I think they're going to have a lot of trouble just because of how hard that division is. And like I said, I need to see more out of the people that are really running the team.
Now we got the Broncos at 7.5.
I'll take the under. That's just way too many in that division because I think the Chargers sweep them. I think the Chiefs sweep them. The Raiders might fuck around and win that game. So there's 5 losses right there. I mean, I don't know. The Broncos, and they still don't have a quarterback. You can say whatever you want about Bridgewater or Drew Lock. I think they're interchangeable. They're not bad guys. I'm sure they're wonderful people. Congratulations. I'm a shitty person, but that doesn't make me inherently bad or good at NFL, and neither would it with them. So, I don't know. I take under. I take under.
The thing that really surprised me about the Broncos is that they made Teddy Bridgewater their week 1 quarterback. Because to me, like, this is another make it or break it year with Drew Lock. So to me, it's like now you definitely, if you're not making him your week 1 starter, you're definitely going to move on from him. So you'll probably be taking a quarterback next year. So I don't know. I'm definitely saying under.
Or trying to trade for a certain 30-something-year-old quarterback from up north that is tired of his bullshit team. And if that quarterback was to come to Denver, like I said he should have in the first place, those receivers would be nasty. I know Jerry Jeudy had like a gazillion drops last year, but him, KJ Hamler, and Cortland Sutton would be a nasty trio with one Aaron Rodgers. I think that'd be a really nasty team. But that's the difference between the Broncos going to the playoffs and probably picking 6th in the upcoming draft.
Yeah, that was wild. That would have been wild if that actually happened. Aaron Rodgers to the Broncos.
I would be like Peyton Manning going over there. It'd be like that all over again. They'd be in the Super Bowl the next 2 years.
I think I would literally cry if we had to play Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes in our division. No, I'm done. I'd be done. I'd be like, all right, I'm done with football. Like, we finally got a good team. We finally got a good quarterback. But you know what? Fucking Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers in our division. But thank God that didn't happen. Lee, you weren't here. They're at 7.5. The Broncos.
I'm under. I don't think Teddy Bridgewater or Patrick Surtain, which is a great pick and great defensive player. I don't think they bring them up to 7.5 wins.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, they had to play a game last year without a quarterback, so.
Yeah, the NFL screwed them on that too. If it had been like the Buccaneers or the Chiefs, they would have definitely pushed everything back. They did that with a lot of other teams. They pushed games back, but Broncos, they knew they sucked, so they're like, fuck it, go ahead and go out there and get your asses handed to you because we know you're going to lose regardless.
It's not worth it. Might as well get the commercials while you can.
Yeah, get the game out of the way.
Bears 7.5. I might go over here.
I will too. And not because they're good, but because everybody else in that division, other than the Packers, is so iffy and the line sucks so bad. I mean, it's just two gimmies right there.
And you got to think if Dalton or Fields play semi good, that they're going to win some games. So
hell, they had Foles last year and Trubisky and like a mixture of all kinds of different quarterbacks, and they were 6-0 at one point, or no, 5-0,
something like
maybe.
that. I think it might have been 6.
So, I mean, yeah. So I mean, I feel like what'd you say, 7.5 was the number? I feel like over is pretty much a safe bet on that.
If they go 9-7, they better have Nick Foles on their team so he can go win the Super Bowl for them.
Hell, he's their third string quarterback.
I know, and he looked good against the Titans. I don't understand how Andy Dalton is a better pick than Nick Foles if you're looking at a veteran quarterback.
I mean, I think we all expect Nagy to get fired at some point. He's not. There's no way he's the answer in Chicago.
I mean, Ginger Pussy hasn't done nothing in fucking ever. So.
I'll let the Cowboy fan speak on it. He knows from experience.
Even though he got that hit was dirty and or whatnot that got him knocked out, I don't think he would have done shit anyways.
He wasn't doing shit. He wasn't doing shit. The little bit of time he did have at quarterback after Dak Prescott and before Ben DiNucci or whatever the fuck his name was, Dalton was not good. He was not good.
You guys had, 4 quarterbacks last year? DiNucci. Didn't you have Gilbert at one point? You had
Gilbert, DiNucci.
Cooper Rush.
Oh, yeah.
There was another one we signed from the grocery store. I can't remember his name, but he played too.
That's probably Floyd or some shit.
That's why they signed Dak. Dak breaking his ankle is probably the best thing to happen financially to Dak. Because they were like, oh, fuck it. This is what we got behind him. Fucking pay him whatever he wants. Jerry Jones sitting there with his egg McGriddle or whatever, fucking putting way too much fucking salt on it and just saying, you know what? I'm going to sign Dak.
I mean, it's either pay him the money. I mean, I guess the money and the risk was a lot more valuable than their second, third, and fourth string quarterback.
So now we're at Panthers. Panthers 7.5.
I'm going over too. Chris McCaffrey stays healthy for sure.
Not by a lot.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like over 500 is very viable here. I think 9-8 could happen. 10-7, a little bit too much of a reach because it is still a really tough division. But 9-8 sounds right. 8-9 definitely sounds like something they could do. So I'll take 7. I'll take over 7.5 all day.
I agree. For the same reasons too. I think that I don't know if they're a lot better than 7.5. I think they're 8, but I could definitely see them winning 8.
Yeah, for sure.
Now we got the Eagles at 7.
I'm under for sure.
I definitely think I'm under as well. They haven't looked good in the preseason. I think they're going to end up. I don't know. I think they're going to end up with a top pick this year, and God knows what they do with it.
I think they end up with the second pick because the Lions are worse. But I do feel like Nick Sirianni is completely over his head with his job. I don't think the Eagles are good roster-wise. They still got a pretty good offensive line, but they don't have they don't have a really strong team overall.
Yeah, I think that if they, I don't know. I think it's definitely under.
Yeah. I mean, the best thing that I've seen from them is Devonta Smith's route running, and he's been with the team since April, so that's not saying very much.
I like Devontae Smith. Hopefully he has a good career. I just don't know if it's going to be all in Philadelphia.
If it is all in Philadelphia, it won't be a good career.
Fair enough. Falcons now at 7.
Oh, way under. Way the fuck under. That roster is depleted. I like Matt Ryan. I like Calvin Ridley. But after that, I mean, what do you got? Deion Jones and Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett's a good defensive tackle. I just named their 4 best players.
That's probably, yeah.
And they're in a really tough division. They're going to get swept by probably everybody else in their division. I don't know, man. I don't think they make it. That's a tough division, and they're not a good team. They're not a good team. They haven't even looked competitive in any of their preseason games. They've looked rough. I'll definitely take the under.
When it comes, like we've talked about the Falcons in the fantasy football draft episode, and I quote Justin's quote: "Who the fuck is Mike Davis?"
Who the fuck is Mike Davis? Like, when you're naming somebody that you picked, 4th overall as maybe your 5th best player on the roster, that's a sign that maybe your team is not good.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would pick anyone else over Kyle Pitts at this point.
I forgot about him.
Yeah, that's all I'm thinking of is maybe. No, I got nothing. They still have Keanu Neal. I don't think they have him anymore.
Oh, no, he plays for Dallas.
Yeah, that's right.
They said he's gonna be a starter, so
he should be. He's a good safety.
Bengals at 6.5. I'm going over here.
God, I really want to because I like the Bengals, but damn, that's a hard division. That's a really hard division. Damn, I'm going to take the under, but I still think it's partly because of who they play. I think they're going to be better than they were last year. They're going to lose some close ball games, but the defense still isn't there. They've got one of the best safeties in football in Jesse Bates, but I don't think they're at 7 wins yet.
I don't either. I'm going under.
I think they could split with Pittsburgh, and then I think they might catch the Ravens or Cleveland off guard, but I don't know. I think they're going to be better than some teams, so I'm gonna go 7. 7 wins over. Jets 6. Yeah, I agree. Under.
Tough.
Zach Wilson's looked better than I thought he would, and I still think the Jets suck complete ass.
Yeah, I think they're under. Those are tough because, I mean, you know, what they're projected at 6, I mean, that's a decent number, not to,
I would say that's about right.
Bad. Yeah, I mean, if you're not trying to look bad, you're going to say, hey, the Jets might win 6 games,
Yeah, that's true.
Because you don't want to say, hey, I think they'll win 3, and then here they go reel off, get 6 wins or 7 wins. So 6 is just a safe number for a team like the Jets.
The Jaguars are next. I just bit my tongue. With 6.
I'm going under.
I'll probably go under too. Hey, kickoff comes up here in a minute, don't it?
Yeah, I'm going under. Yeah, we got about 10 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah, we're
cool.
good.
Texans.
Under. I don't even give a fuck what the number is. Under.
Yeah, I agree. I don't
Unless
know if
the number is 0, it's under.
Yeah, it's 5. There's no way they win 5 games.
Man, I bet the house on the under. Fuck that. They're awful.
Even if Deshaun Watson was playing, it'd be like a 9-10 win team, maybe, with Deshaun Watson. But I don't. They're going to be fighting to win one game this year.
If they play Detroit, they might win.
This is I think it's the only team so far that's actually favored to go under. So the odds are actually that they'll go under. So that's pretty crazy. The Lions are at 5 also.
Under.
Yeah.
All right, I agree. So now, let's see. We got through everything. The only thing we need to talk about now is our pick'em games. So how we're going to do it is just straight up. I did include the spread, so you guys will know like what Vegas is thinking. But it's just straight up. The spread doesn't matter. So first off, we got the Cowboys at the Bucks. Casey, I'll start with you.
Bucks. I think the line was 8.5 last night. I think you told me it was 7.5 earlier today. I would probably take the Bucks to beat them by the spread. But if we're just doing straight up money line, I'll take Bucks anyway.
Go on, Lee.
I mean, I'm never not going to say my Cowboys aren't going to win. That's just me. So I'm saying the Cowboys are going to win. Whether they do it or not, I don't know, but I hope they retire Tom Brady. That's what I hope.
I respect the fuck out of you for sticking to your guns. I don't see how the Bucks lose this game.
I'm also going with the Bucks, and Kyle went with Dallas, so we're split 2-2 there.
Oh, nice.
Kyle's just kissing Lee's ass. Is all he's doing.
Next up, we got the Jets at Carolina. Carolina's favored by 5.
I would take Carolina to win by 10.
Yeah. I'm going Carolina for one reason only. Christian McCaffrey.
Man, I like Joe Brady, and I love Sam Darnold. I think they're all going to be really good this year. And I'm big on the Panthers. I know I'm crazy. People think I'm nuts. I drafted Sam Darnold in a lot of my drafts. I think the Panthers are going to be really good.
I'm also going to go with Carolina here, and so does Kyle. So we're all agreed Carolina on that one. We got Seattle at Indianapolis. Seattle's favored, actually, by 2.5.
Oh, I definitely take the Colts. I'd love to take the Colts in the points here. I think the Colts win the game. I think they're a better team.
Yeah, me too. Kyle went Indianapolis as well.
I'm going Seattle.
Ooh, I like it.
Just because we all took the other team, or because you actually think
No. I
was say you do this is competitive. So
Carson wins it, and I have more belief in Russell. So.
That's fair.
That is fair, and but you're all right. This is competitive, so if everyone goes one way, it's kind of smart to go the other way, just because hey, you might make that point, Next we have Miami at New England. New England's favored by 2.5.
I think Miami wins that football game.
Me too. Miami always plays New England hard in New England. Even when Brady was there, I hate Tua Tagovailoa because I have no idea what's going to happen, but I'll take Miami.
I'm going to go New England here, and so does Kyle. So we're going to be split 2-2 again.
Okay.
Now we have the LA Chargers at Washington football team. LA's favored by 1 point. It's the closest spread this week.
What was it again?
It's
Chargers, Washington.
Yeah.
I'll take Washington.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, Justin.
No.
You've got some rookies. You got a rookie up front. You've got a young offensive line against the best defensive line in football. I believe Washington's going to really surprise a lot of people this year. I'll take Washington in this game, but I would not be surprised if Chargers win. I think they're a really good team.
I definitely don't disagree with you. Washington, as far as matchup wise, Washington's a bad matchup for us on the offensive line. I think our offensive line is questionable at best. We have Ryan Balaga, we have Rashawn Slater, but the guards aren't very good. And I think Corey Lindsey's our center. He's pretty good, but our guards are like guys that are probably fringe bench players at this point. So Yeah, I don't think we're going to be that good against Washington. I'm still going to take the Chargers. But
You have to.
yeah, I'm not positive. I'm not sold, and that's why the spread's so close.
I'm picking the Chargers, and I think they win convincingly. Washington, I think the Chargers defense is going to give Ryan Fitzpatrick just as much trouble as Chase Young, and that Washington defense could give Herbert. But I think the Chargers are going to surprise. I think the Chargers are they win by a touchdown.
Kyle also picked the Chargers, so I'm gonna go back through here and write down our pick so that way I know. So Casey is taking the Bucks, the Panthers. Hold on, let me do this easier. The Bucks, Panthers, Colts, Dolphins, and Washington.
Yes.
All right, Lee is taking Dallas, the Panthers, the Seahawks, right? Yeah, the Seahawks. And then you're taking the Dolphins, right? For New England.
Dolphins, Chargers, yeah.
And then okay. And then I have Kyle's written down, and then I'll go ahead and write mine down. That way I know I didn't change them later. So I took Tampa, Carolina, Indy, Pats, and Chargers.
I mean, since we both did both of our teams, we could talk about who we think would win the Titans game.
Yeah, we can. It's Titans at Carolina, and I think the line's at like 3.5 for Titans.
Carolina, Arizona.
Yeah, you're right. I fucked it up. Yeah, it's the Cardinals.
You're good. Okay, cool. I think that's what you meant to say.
Yeah, I was thinking C words there.
Titans win by 2 touchdowns.
If Titans can guard DeAndre Hopkins, kind of take him out of the game, they definitely win by 2 touchdowns.
I was trying to find the spread to make sure, but yeah, I want to say it was like 3.5 or something like that, maybe 5.
Yeah, it was either 2.5 or 3.5 last time I saw it. I just don't remember which team it was for. Maybe Tennessee, but I can't remember.
Yeah, Tennessee's favored.
Okay, yeah, I think it was 3.5.
And I agree with that. I think Tennessee's going to beat the Cardinals. I don't know if it'll be by a touchdown, but it'll be. I don't think it'll be a big game. All right, you guys ready to get out of here?
Yeah, I got some football to watch.
All right, guys. We enjoy you watching. If you stuck around, if you made it to the end, please like and subscribe to the channel. We're still a new channel.
Damn it!
Any like, any subscribe matters. All likes matter. Dude, that was so stupid.
That's fucked up.
Oh my god. Yep, we're canceled. All right, see you guys.
Yeah.
And
I love it.
That was a good shot.